1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Just a little bit of Bitter Green, a Gordon Lightfoot song that Tony Rice made famous on a recording years ago. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about playing out of a D position, okay? So a lot of bluegrassers get really good at G and C and kind of fall apart when we come to picking out of a D position. So let's talk about that. This scale, just the layout, okay? I'm going to show it from this string all the way to this string, okay? We're going to ignore double notes. We're going to ignore a lot of things, just physically where the scale is. So I'm going to, on the low string, it's going to be 0, 2, 3. I'm talking frets now. Next strings, it's 0, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4. And then the last two strings are 0, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3. And go ahead and hit the 5th fret up there. I know that has nothing to do with music right now. There's just physical locations. Now we start talking about a scale. We start on the D string. There's 5 notes right there. And this is where people run into trouble in D, is they have to have a choice to make. Do I play the B note here? Or do I play the B note open? And the listener can't tell the difference. They don't care. It's whatever you like. It could shift. Different, however you want to do it. Whatever you feel comfortable with. So there's a scale. So now I want to talk about the chords. You know, if we're in D, usually you're playing in D, G, and A. Well, this is how I set up for lead in D. Okay? The old guys, when I was coming up, they would do this and use their pinky for all these notes. I set up like this. For G, these middle 3 strings are open, I can do that. For A, I kind of set up with one finger like that. This gives me kind of the double stop notes, okay? So here's a song to use as an example. I'm going to use Paradise. You've heard this song. John Prine did this. Everybody did this. He said, "Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay." So if I set up here and I just play a melody, I'm trying to keep this as much as possible unless I need it. Now I'm not even playing those notes yet. That's my setup. Now, if I can do that, I might be able to take my pick and carry it too far. Now that sets me up for double stops, for cross picking, for all different kinds of stuff, okay? So that's the position I play out of over the D chord, the G chord. I could be here, I could be here, I could be here, A chord, could be here. Okay? So now we know where to play at. I'm going to show you a couple other tricks, okay? I want you to think about the proximity of the strings to each other. So I want you to know this, that the G string it goes G here and then D's here. So any lick that I know in G, I can basically move it over a string, probably make some adjustments, move it over a string, and it becomes a D lick. So here's one of the most famous G licks, the G run. Well, if I move that over a string, it becomes a D lick. Fiddle players and mandolin players do this all the time, but we can do it too, is move a lick over a string, okay? Here's like a bluesy lick, okay? This one starts on the 5th note of the G scale. Okay? Well, I can move that over a string. I just got to find the 5th note of the D scale. And think about how that goes. It goes chromatic. So in G, move it over to D. In G, that'd be one string that way. Okay? So there are things like that. Like here's a really common one I can do in G. Okay? Well, I can do that in D. I just move it over a string. So slide from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret. I just gotta kind of fix it with my ears. You might try this and be like, oh, that doesn't sound right. You're right, it doesn't sound right. You gotta fix it because the guitar is not even spacing when you cross over the B strings. Here's a lick in G, on the G string. Okay, just move that over. It's D lick now. Okay, so those are just some simple tips to get you started playing in D. Learn where the scale is all the way across. These are the notes that are live. Okay, and then if you're playing a melody, hold down that simple melody. If you are if you know a G lick, see if you can move it. It might be kind of weird, but see if you can move it over a string. See what you can figure out, okay? All right, so I'm going to play a little bit more of Bitter Green, and if you need a teacher, check it out on andyslessons.com, and we'll see if we can't get together, okay? Here we go, Bitter Green.